Once upon a cold Christmas Eve in 1914, during the harsh times of World War I, something magical happened. Picture this: miles of muddy trenches across Belgium and France, home to soldiers far away from their loved ones during the festive season. These soldiers, tired and longing for home, were caught in a war that seemed endless. Their daily life was filled with the sounds of gunfire and the fear of what the next day might bring. On this special night, as the cold wind blew and the stars twinkled above, an unexpected silence fell over the battlefield. In the midst of the silence, a German soldier decided to place a small Christmas tree, lit with candles, above the trench. It was a sight so unusual, yet so beautiful, it caught the attention of British soldiers across the no-man's land. What happened next was like a scene from a storybook. The German soldiers started singing Stille Nacht, Silent Night, a melody so familiar yet so distant in the roar of war. Hearing this, the British soldiers couldn't help but join in, their voices carrying across the cold night air, singing carols in return. For a moment, the war seemed to pause, and the spirit of Christmas took over. Imagine the joy and surprise when, on Christmas morning, soldiers from both sides hesitantly climbed out of their trenches, their hearts racing with a mix of fear and hope. They met in no man's land, a place usually marked by the horror of war, now a meeting ground for a rare moment of peace. They shook hands, shared stories, and even laughed together, sharing chocolates, biscuits, and photographs of their families. For a brief time, they were not enemies, but simply men sharing the warmth of Christmas. In some places, they even played soccer, a ball magically appearing, leading to a game in the frost-covered ground. Can you imagine? Soldiers who were just aiming guns at each other now cheering and kicking a soccer ball under the same sky. But this moment of peace wasn't just about joy and games. It was also a time for reflection and sadness, as soldiers on both sides helped each other bury their dead, paying respects with joint ceremonies. It was a moment that showed the world that even in the darkest times, there can be a light of humanity. Not everyone agreed with this truce, though. Some officers and soldiers, like a young Adolf Hitler, couldn't understand how enemies could celebrate together. Despite this, for those who participated, the Christmas Truce was a precious memory of peace and friendship in the middle of one of history's most devastating wars. As quickly as it began, the truce came to an end, and the war resumed. But the soldiers who experienced the Christmas Truce carried with them a powerful reminder of hope, kindness, and the shared spirit of humanity. This incredible story, a true event from our history, shows us that even in the toughest times, people can find moments of peace and connection. If you found this story touching and inspiring, share it with your friends and family. Let's spread the message of hope and peace, just like the soldiers did on that remarkable Christmas in 1914.